pressure, it looks like, from Global Esports towards A main. There's going to be a fault line there, nice and early through the connector. And the goal of this is just to try and contain this space towards A main. An instant response, though. Look at this. Vitality willing to pivot, taking control of B main, actually, and now going to be using the wall to just rotate her all the way around. Try and claim a free side onto C. A lot of util being dumped into the back of it just to clear it out, making sure that if anybody is there, they're going to be scurrying away. But it is going to be afforded now a free plan, but it's flank timing. Oh my goodness! Huge. Punishing this one, still running backwards, backpedaling from Sender.
It's a good paranoia.
Yep, it was good. Caught onto him there, and now this pressure is really on them. Sender needs to come up with the goods and just can't quite deliver it. Taking an awkward fight there, awkward engagement. And the spike's been dropped down. Vitality were getting ahead of themselves. They took complete control of the connectors of the back of their spawn ahead of time, thinking that it was just going to be offered for them.
How do they get the spike back now?
Yeah, I mean, how do you play retake? Not much util you've got available to them other than the wall from Destrian. Let's see what he does here. Splitting up the site now. They can isolate a fight, but no, just swinging all the way through. No fear whatsoever. And that consistency that we've seen time and time again.
The frenzy is giving them so much success. A lot of frenzy usage in these pistol rounds. And the big flank there, catching the planter completely unaware. And Vitality had no idea that they'd given up their own spawn. And I'm not even worried about this round. I probably shouldn't say that.
Yeah, what a way to curse it.
But I'm not worried about this round because Global Esports, since Pearl, just feel like they've fixed that issue.
Flooding through into it. Spike going to be dropped down to the corner. Late lurk from Bonecord. He could do some real damage here. Okay.
I'm worried.
You should be worried, Josh.
I'm worried again.
Yeah, listen. Going to get the entire ire of India on you as well if you keep this one up.
It wasn't my fault.
Well, kills are offered up. 3 for 3 still in this round now. 3 versus 3, I should say. And now slowing it down a little bit here for Vitality, making sure that they wait it out.
I think Vitality's composition is usually going to have a lot of utility. But in these early rounds, they can't afford all of it, obviously. So Global Esports should have opportunities to get much better retakes early in the half compared to later. The question is just whether, you know, Sender lands a headshot or Bonecord finds a pick. And the Global Esports players are not going to have any idea whether Vitality have pushed deep because they're miles away.
They're contented all the way up. It's always awkward, honestly, retaking this C-side when you don't have any control of the inner workings of the map, the connectors, because you really do have to clear everything carefully. You don't know if they could have pushed up. You can see Aaron making sure it's a slow and steady approach here, just trying to link up with the rest of his team from Waterfall.
Time is going to tick, but Vitality, again, have no util, so no post-plant ability.
Flash to push them through. One player holding at water there. That's Bonecord to the back. They want to fight this one, and the Sheriff's in their hands. Anything could happen. Running gun in action, but Aaron, he will win out the fight eventually. Drop down to 17 health, but listen, not as clean as we've seen, at least from Pearl being able to convert those anti-ecos, but it does get converted nevertheless.
There was no need to be worried.
There was, of course, yes.
There was no need to be worried.
Guys, don't flood my DMs. It's a much weaker buy from them, just continuing the bonus, keeping it going, seeing what they can get done. A lot of util being used though, and that flash, oh my goodness! Up close, corralled into the corner, slowed all the way down. Twiston, it's making a Vandal look like a phantom. One yet though, up close. Oh my, trigger discipline, just can't quite find a second shot.
Could have been everything, couldn't it?
Yeah, makes it dangerous for them though. Jump peek, SK Rossi taking it. Again, there's a bit of a Marshall moment. Gun is quite good, by the way.
Any damage done here is actually huge. Rossi could give his team a phenomenal advantage in round 4.
So how does he want to play this one? I mean, he hoovered up the rifle in his hands right now with his Phantom. And he should be playing for the kills, like you said, Josh.
Yeah, I think he wants to be playing pretty aggressively. I don't think saving the rifle here is the right move. But looks like he just wants to take a cautious approach. And that's going to let Twist and Bonecord Multi, that's going to let those guys off the hook.
Yeah. Maybe not willing to give them potentially any easy kills. Multi is 2 away from his ult, so
yeah, there's always
play close to it.
There is always a risk reward.
Yeah. 3 away from Bonecords and Twistons, so.
And there's a lot of ways to play for ult orbs on this map. But still, okay. SK Rossi taking the safe approach there. A Vitality, that means that they're going to be able to get a decent buy, but I think this breach flash, where you just saw Twiston follow up, that clearly was not accounted for.
Just that. Once more, that is a heavy stack though from Global Esports. Look at that. Essentially leaning 4 of their players over. Obviously the connector still being played as well by or by Bazzi, I should say. And they are once again pushing up off the back of this drone. Now they did this prior though. They did this in a pistol round, so it should be contained and aware. And look at this vitality. Oh, they've got all 4 of their players ready for the approach, but it is just an absolute slaughter back and forth.
I don't think they were expecting as many of the global players to be there. Vitality have called an immediate pivot into C, but that's the game plan from Aaron. He wants them to run into the nano swarms.
Look at this angle. Operator in his hands, Texture. He's holding for it. If the clearance isn't good, oh my goodness, the spacing just good enough. Still a bit of damage done there through the wall. Bone Cold dropped down to 5 health. The damage is being done now in this 2v3. Still, you can't afford to give up too much. Paranoia play. Twiston tries to just spam the angle that he was expecting a player to swing through on. Left down into that 1v3. Bone Cold will have to really pull out all the stops to be trying to win this one, and it's just not possible. Not with the resources available to him. So, Global Esports, really good options, really good ideas as they're heading into this defense side.
Yeah, I think that round was fantastic. I mean, the triple stack from Global Esports on one side of the map, driving the Vitality players into Nanoswarms and the Operator on the other side. That is really good. And also, the small mistakes that we were seeing from Global before, where they would line up and give easy spray downs and not be there supporting each other. This is scrap metal
And
the
another
Vitality
clash,
are working
though.
with.
That's what's going to be happening here towards the A side of the map. That's stun. The fault line is there. And yeah, with a bit of spam through the doors and when an Odin's in your hands, I mean, that thing can seem like paper. Still the fight needs to be taken. Got to be careful. Don't want to give away too much. And what's going to be offered for them? Well, has to dodge that flash. And as he does, it creates that opening.
It's the same breach flash, ruining Global Esports' control over A, and it's opened up a gap for Twiston.
Oh, yeah, and just with the door opened up, that one connector, the prior fight being taken, lurks his way in. This is all but over for Global Esports. I mean, Texture's doing a lot, just very disciplined there as he just tries to slowly pick up onto this angle, even a crouch peek as well. Nade pushing them back. I think if you are Global Esports, just want to be saving the weapons that you got here. Don't want to be giving away the Operator.
Yeah, if they can play exits, that would be beneficial, just to keep damaging Vitality's economy. But this map, you can just exit everywhere.
It's a lot offered for them, but just to talk about this round, it actually ended up happening as well. A recurring thing that we've seen, like you said, Josh, that breach flash that's not being dealt with when they fight over that A main control.
It's
I think
devastating.
Vitality's comp is much better at fighting for that early A main pressure.
They have a lot more utility that they can throw into that area, and also, I feel like whether it's players getting blinded or players having to turn away, that breach flash is ruining them. When the flash pops, he doesn't have to worry about it. You just saw it there in the replay. It blooms kind of really high in the defender's sightline, but you could cloudburst that. If you can predict the timing of anti-flash, and they can swing, but the angles are awkward.
So we step ourselves now into this round here, round 6. Swing off the Prowler. Oh, that's dealt with. Twiston, felt like there wasn't too much else behind that one. Maybe just a little bit late with the stun that should have been coming, but
I like this Odin idea from Monye. It is working.
a lot of warbang angles on this map in particular. Saw Cloud getting good usage of it actually earlier in the tournament. Couple of Guardian kills, but it's an interesting round because the ultimates are building up on either side. A lot of tools to work with. You might start to see some of them offloaded.
3 players on the B site, and if Bone Cold gets his breach ult in there, those guys will not be able to hold on. It is a tiny choke point though, so risk reward maybe not quite in Vitality's favor.
Wow.
Lockdown being used here seems strange to me because Aaron's still going to be able to back up and pop his nano swarms off.
It's quite interesting.
And he has a counter lockdown, so is this all just a fake to hit B with the breach ult or the nightfall?
Looks like there might be a pivot in play. Yeah, there's a nightfall. Moves them back. No more audio cues from Munyet. And there's a Rolling Thunder. That's used in response. Global Esports pushing them back, but still pushing their way through. Aftershock into the corner. It's going to be causing it to be a little bit more awkward, and time is running so damn low now. The wall's still blocking off these sightlines. Plant's going to go down, and no one really disrupting this up close to the wall. Texture does cover it.
What a shot.
And it has to be heroics. It has to be now. One after the other. The double swing, not spacing themselves out, and it is just crumbling before them. What was an opening, what was an opportunity for Global Esports to at least turn that in their favor? It just
where it all just fell to pieces. Texture did such a good job at hitting the first one onto Destrian. But then this kind of crouch peek play from Buzzy is... no bueno.
Yeah, not too good, but...
And set Sender up for a 4K, holding on, and Vitality now powered up.
So forcing Global Esports down to that eco. Texture one away from his Blade Storm. It's a heavy stack over towards A. This time, not willing to fight over some of that A main pressure, so they've realized the mistake prior. And they're like, okay, well, we don't really have the util to go pound for pound and try and fight for that control, so we'll give it up.
If they can sniff out the A stack, though, the rest of the map is so weak from Global's defense.
Wide open. You see this positioning being played by Aaron. I mean, he was behind just the bank of sand there, but has to give it up. He does hear that util being used into the front side of B.
Uh-oh. The spike is returning over to A. Global Esports haven't moved an inch.
As he's holding his fall line, I think. Maybe off a bit of util, but revealing a couple of these players, fault line, and a nade as well.
Okay, the pivot into B here makes more sense to me, I think.
Yeah, a lot has been showcased so far, I think. Global Esports making it quite obvious that they've stacked this, so now into B. Should be a free plant, yeah, especially with the Cove. It's going to be blocking any potential damage. Obviously, the position isn't even there in the first place, but playing for this retake, I think narrow sight lines, narrow angles as well. Could see that the pistols get a bit of work done. Dart pushes the players back now, and Vitality feeling the pressure. It's definitely on. Shorty right up close and personal, still twisting. Lurks his way around, and no one is dealing with this guy at all. Shorty in play. That's going to be that slam dunk. Looking like it could have got a bit dangerous, but no, Vitality.
Esports are playing their defense. And this is where a good attack side caller or a good coach is going to be able to give you a lot of other good ideas for the rest of the rounds. And something that strikes me is that Twiston hasn't been I talked about double blast pack with the Razor into C.
Util being dumped through, so control of A. Immediately pivoting. They know that they're pushing up a lot of the player base. Now you can see a lot of the team of Vitality. Dumping a bit of utility through, and now you see it Reckoning and a showstopper. Great combination. Clears out the side entirely. And this ult is a little bit
really
awkward
early
there from SK Rossi. Yep, dashing away just to avoid that showstopper rocket that was flying right towards their spawn. But
and one of the problems is, I mean, if SK Rossi had ulted as the plant was going down, then maybe they don't get that one off.
Timing. Oh my goodness, the lurk. Oh, it's all just a bit hidden, isn't it? Monyet, will he be able to be aware of this? Not quite. Sender's reflank has just been brutal for them. Backstabbing them. Moving forwards though, Aaron does deal with this one. Now how does this retake happen? A lot of util, aftershock into the corner. SK Rossi moving up, has the operator. Does he suspect the player is close? Time is running low. Texture trying to stick this now. The raw spam, the random spam. Trying to go for the quick scope, half onto the defuse. No one's dealt with Twiston. And he was just that extra layer that they needed.
Good execution from Rossi, and the kind of setup here makes it really difficult. That post-plant spot that is miles out in the open. Towards A, and they meet too much resistance. Pivot C, get a plant.
Yeah, they just want to fight over this one. Again, the double flashes up into the top corner. This time, no Texture. He does have the Blade Storm, and yet backing him up. Paranoia now, going to be ripping through, and it does land on a couple of the targets. All that util being dumped forwards. They're going to be able to win out this fight. Question is, can they fight and claim over this next rifle? Destrian's there, just trying to take the battle to them. Making it awkward.
Yeah, they trade a kill but get 2 rifles for it, so it's still good for Global Esports. Double Vandal, 3v3 retake. Vitality are favored for sure, and they've got nice post-plant positions, but it's winnable for Global Esports.
It becomes really hard to try and clear out. Players were holding close.
Multi's giving away where he is.
Yeah, it's revealed. On a headshot angle, though, there's not going to be a re-swing. Dart push back now. Has to be aware that there could be a push, but time, again, starting to run low. These post-plant positions, they got to know that there are a few players there holding it. The timing. Someone needs to start sticking this. Where are the protocols? Where are the layers? A tap onto the spike, but It's just so difficult to try and win out now, and left up to Aaron. Will claim a rifle in the middle of all of this one, but another round tallied up now for Vitality. They're going to be, I think, 6 on the board.
And this is where Global Esports needs to change up the defensive setup. I mean, you can't just do the same thing every time towards C this round. Or you go for, you know, a stack towards B and play retake A. I don't know, there are different options here. But the point being that they need to shift. They've still got the Killjoy utility behind that. Might have been better off putting Aaron on B, but this is a new team, and I'm sure Aaron's scrambling to come up with the adjustments early.
Oh my goodness, Bazzi, given the timing, you can't still be taking that fight though. He does back away with the aftershock, so early kill found. Pretty vital target as well in the form of Twiston, but an instant rotation now by Vitality. They noticed that that early utility wasn't being used towards A main. Chances are they're not playing it, but SK Rossi gets some really good mid-round information, and that drone spots at least 2 of the players.
And there's 3 players ready to defend A.
Yep, swarming back onto the site. Operator, Texture pushing forwards, that's a risky maneuver.
And he missed the shot.
Yeah, missed times, risky timings, and there was a gap into the smoke. The spam is just not being afforded, is it? No angles to really play for, and the Operator's going to be salvaged, picked up, backed away. Global Esports forced to save for another day.
Vitality looking clean. I like the pivots as they move around the map. I think one of the big things that Bone Cold's done well here is make his team quick to react to things. When they realize that there's pressure in one area of the map, they're very fast to immediately group and hit somewhere else. They're not trying to play the clock, they're just trying to play the rotations. And make sure they get easy access to sites. Global Esports had the read though, it just... Vitality overwhelmed them as that sloppiness came back into their play.
Yeah. Trying to play retake there. I mean, maybe it's different if Texture ends up landing a shot. This could be really dangerous. With a no-scope, he can't even save the weapons into it.
No, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal. Not only do you lose all of your weaponry,
I mean,
4 in the pistol?
4 in the pistol, I think.
Maybe.
Might be the minimum, but we'll see. Still early days, still a new map, a lot of unknowns, but half buy, that's what Global Esports have been forced down to, and it's pretty obvious this pressure. That's a paranoia, but doesn't catch all of it. And the Horn has to be dealt with, which resets the aim of Texture. He can't even get a kill out of it. Nano Swarms. Drop down low into the corner, that nade. Aaron forced out wide into the open. Doesn't pay for it with his life. Could spam the common angle, but no, there's a cove in the way, so even the bullets would be blocked. Quite interesting, though. He has managed to lurk his way into a slight timing. But all this util, just slowing him down. Lovely siege just to delay this one. Bone Cold as well, right at the back. Angles are being watched for and played for, even that lockdown, but no, they just wade right into that common angle.
And I think at this point, in the same pressure. Let's see if the breach flash from Bone Cold works.
Yeah, already to flash over the top. Texture dashing forwards. There is a dart in play. No one was dealing with this one, and yet again, okay.
Bazzi used his ult
element. Yeah, that was an ult to push them back. I mean, have to use the smoke, I suppose, just to plot the course all the way into B. You can see the players have already taken up all this space. The spike, though, out in the open. Bazzi just needs to contain this. But they could be anywhere right now. Nightfall now being used for a fight towards A main. Smoke's going to be fading any minute now. And the fight being taken and won right now. Global Esports. They shut that one down. Have to be aware. Bazzi backing away. Peak timing. Twiston's position known. But now it's all down to Sender. Still, looks like it should be an easy one for Global Esports.
Yeah, I think the spike being down made all the difference. Like, trade offer. We take A, you get the rest of the map. Normally not a good trade, but when the spike is down and there's nowhere to pivot,
that's nice.
Global Esports have the advantage. Good double face, making sure Sender doesn't have a crumb of it. And they're
the potential is there. Like we said earlier, it is a bit more of an attack-sided map from what we've seen so far at the tournament, but probably going to need the pistol round as we head into that. Actually one of the most important ones they've ever played coming up.
Almost looks like fake pressure towards A, but they are going to follow the flash recon play, at least initially here. Vitality have taken sand, so a bit of a flip in the map.
Yeah, deep position there onto C, and that's pressure being, again, just flooded through now into this B site. Sender, oh, this smoke is just a little bit off in terms of the angle. Tried to take an early fight. Doesn't know if they pushed him. Backed away. The Plan's going to get off, and this repush, they don't quite claim too many more kills, but Destrian falling is a big one.
This is wonky now, though, because Vitality control every other part of the map. They're going to ambush Global Esports.
So reflank the post plants. There needs to be some plays being made, and guess what? Monyet steps up to the plate. Hands him an easy kill in the form of Bone Cold. Aaron's reflank is everything, but doesn't buy this time, just backs away. One bullet, and it does the job.
Oh, flanks on flanks for Global Esports.
The IGL just doing the most right now for them. Last player known, Twiston is finished, and that's 6 for 6. A flawless on the pistol round. Beautiful stuff.
And this tournament in the first round, I think they've showcased that their pistol rounds at a minimum can make matches happen.
Yeah.
Eraser, the head coach, and Aaron, the IGL, have cooked up some really cool stuff. The post-plant flank there was good. The push into spawn was a nice idea too. It's not simple. There are layers. Okay, are they aware that Twiston went for this push before? Because Vitality are doing the same thing again.
Close stun. Bazzi looks like he wants to clear it. Yep, stunned up. There was a crossfire.
Good work.
Almost taken off the head of Bazzi, but yeah, they show a lot of patience with clearing that one.
We saw Carmine Core run the same kind of play with XMS and Navira. And that one worked a treat. So good play from Global Esports to clear that out. What is this? The Harbor Circle of Doom.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of angle, I suppose, that a player could be wading in and out of, but Paranoia rips across, so doesn't seem like it's going to be too troubling for them. There we go, nice and easy. Another flawless. Prime Gaming at that, and keeping all those weapons going.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for Global Esports to have a really dangerous bonus round, because they have just hit them with the Prime Gaming flawless. I feel like any opportunity the global players have to get their confidence up is going to be dangerous for Vitality.
This is what they've got to be careful of, though. Vitality, this comp, is so good at punishing this, and look at that, the nade was actually landed intentional for any sort of player that might be TPing behind that wall.
Yeah, it was actually a Seize nade as well. There was a crazy lineup from Mulsi.
Yeah, so that's a set play, anticipating that Monyet on the Omen would be TPing across, but no one deals with the Haunt. Lights him up through the wall, and it offers that easy kill, but they do get the 1-for-1.
And I think this breakable wall is such an interesting dynamic on LOTUS. Whoever controls this A segment of the map probably wants to break that wall that connects it to B. So the Vitality players don't have any info about whether they could be going through to B. They're having to hold very passively in the 4v4. And from our point of view, we see that Sender might well be under a bit of pressure.
Scanning ahead.
There's a dart, bounces into the back of the site. It's going to be broken, and there is a wall in the face of some of these players. An instant pivot now, though, moving their way into B.
Another gorgeous lurk timing,
Remain,
maybe?
and Aaron, wow, it's just watched for.
A second too early.
Yeah, the timing just slightly off, and this util, the Bone Cold is just offering out to them. It's doing quite a lot. There was a cove to block off that angle, but again, feels a bit awkward once more. A bit of panic maybe just being injected into this round, and Sender, he could just anchor this fully for them. Turret dealt with right at the back, the Nano Swarm making sure that he can't be pushed. And it's down to SK Rossi, but Sender again, just that off angle. Perfect crosshair placement.
Damage done though on the bonus, and remember that is I haven't seen this since
interesting.
Prime Wardell days.
Yeah. And it works out, I suppose. Listen,
There we go.
Angle watch, Sender either trying to go for a jump pick or what, we'll have to see that in the replay, but now you're seeing all this pressure onto Bone Cold. No one was watching that angle, but the dart reveals his position, and Texter's good for it. Just slightly just moving around there. Sight gonna be gained.
Another good plant position. Oh no, Bazzi actually forced to go for a safe plant here.
Yeah, it drops back now, and you're seeing this lockdown being used, attack side lockdown. Global Esports looking to see if they can get this space, but there's a contacting in. Fight being taken. Twiston opting into this. Oh my goodness, and the fault line, Twiston. Oh my word, did he get detained there? Looks likely. Just couldn't quite satchel his way out of there, but there's no punish. Still, the plant goes down. Leaving Twiston alive might be a costly error.
But it is a safe plant, which is a bit more difficult to work with. You can see Aaron's in a spot to swing up
into the
Monyet.
corner, Prowler as well. Monyet needs help. Going to be TPing away, actually. Just backs. Now, control of water is going to be so important to just hold this one. Sees into the back, double swings there. It's beautiful. And the Seas catches onto two, just lined up. Vitality. They cannot be stopped. And moments like that just getting so dangerous. I said it. Twiston was detained, but they just did not want to try and push it to punish.
Yeah, maybe that's going to bite them. But, I mean, the Vitality's retake there. The duelist duo, if you want to call it that, but obviously mostly playing Fade here. But the way that they're syncing these things up, the C's, the nade, the swing timings,
Yep.
they have got such great synergy between them.
Magnificent.
And that puts Global Esports firmly on the back foot.
Yeah, this is really
Rossi
rough.
picking up a hero rifle.
So it has to be the playmaker. Vitality though pushing forwards. It's a heavy take towards the front side of B, and any attempt of a punish is just offset immediately, losing 2 players. It's a pivot though. Global Esports moving forwards, and still the rifle in the hands of Rossi needs to be the playmaker. But a difficult site for them to take fault line into the back of it. Plant position is there, but the wall blocking them off. They need to move past this. Playing forwards deep onto the site. Rossi wins the first duel for them. First step of the miracle plan, tries to take the second with a wider swing, dealt with, flash timing ever so off, and Bazzi, with just a classic, there's only so much he could really do.
I love that play with the Harbor Cascade. Destrian using the Cascade and the push out of B is so good there. It blocks off the long sight line where you might be able to get punished by somebody in spawn, and it also, if someone tries to swing through it, they're slowed. So it's really difficult to help this player that gets stuck on the right. And Texture tries to help, but he's just so labored and slow. It's like going through molasses. Global Esports are going to take a timeout here as they ponder what to do. They're planning to use a Cloudburst and connect with their C players.
But again, SK Rossi has been afforded this operator.
It's strange, isn't it?
So much faith being placed into his hands.
But it's not just faith. It means that he's going to be disconnected from his team and can't use the recon or the dart to set up Twiston. They're splitting their win conditions, and it might be a compromise that hurts them.
Moving forward, slow and steady. It's the name of the game in a Rolling Thunder. They want to punish this one, and SK Rossi, the nade into the corner. Can't move anywhere, still alive for now. Where's going to be dealt with? And he is finally the spray down.
A Vitality grab hold of the tempo, never allowing Global Esports a moment to imprint their pace on the map.
There needs to be an instant response here from Global Esports, and you're seeing it live in the flesh now as the players walk forward. Aaron, a critical kill for him. Late lurking into mid, finds his mark.
He's been good on them, hasn't he?
Yep.
These lurks have always found value from Aaron, and it's a better plant position now.
What is the play here? One yet. So close to the smoke, just about to fade. He's pushing forwards into it, and it's a run and gun. They're just trying to fight them deep into the play. A dash forwards to try and disengage here. YouTube being held, a bit of run and gun, and somehow Aaron wins that one. It is so damn awkward, but it's down to that 2v2. Wall blocks the sight line, Cove as well. It needs to be spammed for. The Blazestorm just not catching it, and Texture forced to spam, forced to try and find the fight, but he can't do it. Stuck all the way through, and Vitality find themselves now on series point.
And they are gone. The buy doesn't look its best, but they're still going to have rifles. One last desperate run for Global Esports. But Vitality look like they've done the important work already.
Yeah, I mean, this is them in the driving seat and more. 3 big ultimates to their name. The util combos this time layered into A main, doesn't grab any kills. Dash forwards, Manel actually sticking this ultimate as well. He's deep into the back line. Position's known though, Multi's going to be backing away. And he does dodge that paranoia, but it's creating an awkward timing right now. What does Multi want to do, holding the edge of this smoke? Meanwhile, Global Esports not wasting any time with this kind of pressure. That's going to be the aftershock, pushing them back out of the way. Fight needs to be taken right up close and personal. It is traded though, but still Vitality going pound to pound. And it's all down to Texture. A 1v2 to keep his team in it. Just to try and survive. Texture up in the side, dashing forwards, dodging that showstopper. He knows where the positioning is. Spike in his hands, a tap of the plan, needs to force the fight, but a doubled up position is there.